Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to look at the book of Esther, and more specifically the character of Vashti. Was Vashti the supervillain, or maybe the hero, the women's rights activist as hailed by Harriet Beecher Stowe and other feminists? So to better understand this story, we have to look at what happened. King Ahasuerus was holding a banquet, the 180 days banquet, where everybody was eating and drinking, and at one point there's a bit of rivalry and they say, "We want to see Vashti," and the king says, "You know what, my wife is the most beautiful one, so of course with pleasure she should come." And she answered,
"And I will not lower my dignity, nor shame my reign by wearing the royal crown before your drunk and thinly veiled war consort."
At first glance, when we hear that, we're like, she's not a villain at all. She's fighting for her rights. But to better understand that aspect of her, we have to go back, way back, to where she came from, Babylon, and her story. The king of Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar. He is the one who destroyed the first temple, the first Beis Hamikdash, and his successor was King Belshazzar. At one point, King Belshazzar had a very lavish party, and he used the utensils of the first Beis Hamikdash, the first temple. During the party, there was a holy writing on the wall which predicted his imminent death. That night, the King Darius of Media came over, was able to kill King Belshazzar, and during the commotion a little girl came, ran and grabbed the ankle of King Darius, and she thought that he was King Belshazzar. But when King Darius looked down, he saw that there was a little 12-year-old girl, the daughter of King Belshazzar, that was holding on to his ankles. She was so beautiful that he decided to spare her life. We're going to put a pin on this, and we're going to go and see what was happening in Persia at that time. The king of Persia was Astyages. He had a beautiful daughter named Mandane, and she fell in love with one of the courtier. She got pregnant, the king banished her from the kingdom, and the little boy was left to die. This little boy's name was Cyrus, and Cyrus became a very big warrior. Later on came and killed his grandfather, King Astyages, to rule over Persia. King Cyrus was a mighty warrior and was able to extend and increase the territory of Persia to really have 252 countries under his dominion. There was at that time again King Darius, we remember, who overthrew King Belshazzar. That thought, you know what, I have a daughter and Cyrus is a mighty warrior. Why shouldn't we put them together and increase our kingdom and add Media to Persia? So it did. They were wed, and from that union came King Ahasuerus. King Ahasuerus was a mighty warrior, but unfortunately his kingship brought down the territory that his father, King Cyrus, left him. And from 252 countries under his dominion, he only was left with 127 because of the kind of rulership that he had. Once again, King Darius said, I like King Ahasuerus, and I would like to consolidate everything. Therefore, remember that little girl that he found at King Belshazzar? It was actually Queen Vashti, the daughter of King Belshazzar. He decided to put them together for them to get married and together rule over Babylon and Persia and Media. Now that we see where Queen Vashti came from, it's better understandable how she hated the Jews. She hated the Jews because for her, her grandfather, King Nebuchadnezzar, destroyed their temple, and also her father, King Belshazzar, was killed because he used the utensils of the first Beis Hamikdash, the first temple, and for her she saw that it was a punishment from the God of the Jews, therefore she hated them. She also made sure that she showed her hatred in the way she treated her maidservant. The way she did it was on Shabbat she had Jewish maidservant who would work without any clothes just to diminish them, to shame them. King Ahasuerus hated the Jews as well, but for another reason. His astrologers predicted that his crown would be worn by a Jew. Therefore, he hated the Jew with a passion. With this new knowledge, let's look at the party of King Ahasuerus in a different light. When he did his party, he wanted to showcase his wealth, his power. And at the same time, there was a party that was given by Queen Vashti that also wanted to showcase her wealth, but also her power. It was to denigrate and to show, you can do this, King Ahasuerus, I can do it better than you. You can wear the Bigdei Kehuna, the clothing of the priest, so can I. I hate you. I am better than you. I just despise you. So when King Ahasuerus came and decided to go with the crowd and ask her to dress only with her crown, she said no, but her no was not out of modesty. Her no was simply to reaffirm that she was better than him in every point. She was the queen and daughter of the king of Babylon, and he was just a commoner for her. Therefore, she never intended to do and to refuse this out of modesty. So what can we learn from this? What can we learn from the story of Vashti, and how can we grow from it? A very important point is that when Queen Vashti came and said no, again, her reasons were just based on purely selfish external reason. The Midrash says that she had a tail that grew. Some say that she had leprosy, and this is why she said no, because everything was about external beauty, external power. And on the contrary, when we do a parallel between Queen Vashti and Queen Esther was all about internal beauty, about her inner self. When she went to King Ahasuerus, she didn't ask for beautifying makeup, she didn't ask for special clothes, she just came the way she was, and King Ahasuerus fell in love because she was a real woman showing her inside, her inner qualities, and not showcasing only her external beauty. So from this beautiful story of the book of Esther, we understand that everything is about the inside and not the outside, that when we do focus on our inside, our internal beauty, then there's the Shekhinah, this inner glow that comes out, and people find us beautiful inside and out. I hope that this video was helpful for you, that it shed a new light on the story of the book of Esther, Megillah Esther, and how Queen Vashti was in fact not the righteous woman that we could perhaps think. We have to learn from Queen Esther that everything is about the inside and very little about the outside. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. We do post new content every week on Tuesday. Until next time, don't forget to frum it up.